The supply curve is another important tool that we run into in our study of economics. The supply curve shows the quantity that sellers are willing and able to provide at different prices in a given time period. The supply curve is an upward sloping curve showing the relationship between the price of a product and the quantity of the product supplied. So we return to our example of oil. Let's just focus on the graph on the left. In this graph we see that on the y-axis we had the price of a barrel of oil, and on the x-axis the quantity of oil supplied, once again measured in millions of barrels per day. The supply curve is upward sloping, which suggests that there's a positive relationship between the price and the quantity of oil supplied. As the price increases, the sellers are willing and able to provide more oil at a given price. As we see, there's a horizontal way to read this supply curve, and the horizontal way just simply says that at a given price the quantity of oil supplied is blank. So for instance, at a price of 20, the quantity of oil supplied is 30. If the price of oil should increase to 55, the quantity of oil supplied is 50. An alternative way to read this is to read the supply curve vertically. And so for this one, let's focus on the graph. It says what is the minimum price that the seller would be willing to provide the 30 millionth barrel of oil for. In this case we see that they'd be willing to provide that 30 millionth barrel of oil for $20. If we're talking about the 10 millionth barrel of oil, the seller is willing to provide it for as low as $5. If we're talking about the 50 millionth barrel of oil, we see that the only way that the seller is willing and able to provide the 50 millionth barrel of oil is if the seller gets at least $55 per barrel.